let us start up with the class. Good morning, my dear students. In the previous classes, we have discussed about the various concepts related to basics of computers, wherein we have discussed about what is the computer and various applications of computer, and also we have discussed about generations of computer, and also we have discussed on types of computers, isn't it? So the next concept in this particular chapter is architecture of computer system. What actually this architecture is meant for? See, architecture is nothing but the outline structure of any of the product. Any product that you are going to develop, whether it may be a mobile or water bottle or pen or book or whatever the product that you are going to develop, each and every product must contain an outline structure in order to develop a particular product. Whenever we want to develop something, we need an outline structure. That outline structure is nothing but an architecture. For example, if I want to build a house, what is the first thing that we are going to do? We are going to plan, and we are going to design the architecture of it, or we are going to design the house structure. That house structure is nothing but an architecture. Similarly, computer system is also one which contain its own specific architecture in order to perform a specific task. So this architecture of computer system was developed by a particular scientist which is with the name called as John. John is the scientist who have developed this particular architecture of computer system in the year 1945. In the year 1945. He says that like in order to avoid the complexity of our computer system, which was earlier before 1945, in order to avoid the complexity of our computer system, he has came across with a simple structure for our computer system, which can minimize the size of the system, at the same time provide a specific output within a fraction of time. He says that simple structure or a simple architecture of our computer system may help us in order to design and develop a particular system in a proper manner. Whenever we want to develop a particular product, each and every product will be having its own specific architecture. So similarly, when it comes to the architecture of our computer system, it says that computer system is a one which has to contain three important parts. One is first important part is input device. Second important part is CPU, which we call it as central processing unit, and the third part we call it as output device. Three important parts that we must have in terms of a computer architecture. According to John, he says that these are the three important parts. One is input device, second one is central processing unit, and the third one is output device. So this architecture, whatever that you are seeing here, this architecture indicates the same. It contains input device, and whatever that comes in between input device and output device is considered as central processing unit. This central processing unit is a mother of your computer system. It acts as a brain of your computer system. Central processing unit acts as a brain of your computer system. So whenever we want to perform a specific operation, we have to make use of these three important parts, which is called as input device, then second one is central processing unit, and the third one is output device. Okay, so let us come to the parts of that particular computer system, where the first part here is input device. What actually this input device is? Input device is a one which helps the user or the programmer to input the data to the computer system. Input device is a one which helps the user or a programmer to input the data to the computer system for further processing. Like one example that I can tell you is, if I want to type something in my system, I will be using a keyboard, isn't it? Keyboard is an input device. Keyboard is an input device which helps the user to input the data into the system. Why we need to input the values into the system, input the data into the system is, without inputting the data, it's impossible for us to perform any operation. For example, if you want to send a message to your friend through your through your computer system by using a mail. Okay, without typing the mail ID, without typing the message, can we send a message to a specific person to whom we want to send? Can we send the data? Can we send the information or can we pass the information to the specific person without inputting the value? No, right? Like you are sending a message to your friends, you are sending a message to your friends through WhatsApp application without typing a message. Whether send option becomes active, send option in your WhatsApp application will become active or no. No, right? So once you type the message, automatically the send button becomes active, and when you press send button, automatically the data will be transferred. The data will be transferred from sender to the receiver. How the data will be transferred from sender to the receiver? The data will be transferred from sender to the receiver by taking the support of central processing unit, which we call it as, in short, we call it as CPU. Okay, so input device is a one which helps the user to input the data to the system for further processing. Once you input the values or once you input the data, with the help of an input device, the data will be transferred to the memory unit. It will be transferred to the memory unit. What actually this particular memory unit is? Memory unit is a one which helps you to store the data which has been sent from the input device. It is a one which helps you to store the data from the which you have sent from the input device. Here in terms of memory, there are two types of memory. One is primary memory and the other one is secondary memory. What actually this particular primary memory is? Primary memory is one which stores the data temporarily. It is a one which can store the data temporarily for and only for further specific time. Once the further specific time, it indicates what is once you spell, like for example, if I send a data like I want to perform an addition operation, it is similar to calculator. Primary memory is similar to calculator. Okay, you will send the data as 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2, once you press equal to, automatically it provides you the output as, it takes the support of arithmetic logic unit and provides you the output as 4. Once you get the output, once you get the output, automatically when if you want to perform the second operation, the data which you have got previously will not be stored, instead it will be erased. Instead it will be erased from the memory. Primary memory acts as a temporary memory which helps you to store the data for only short period of time until the operation gets completed. Until the operation gets completed. The best example for primary memory is RAM. ROM. The best example for primary memory is ROM, which helps you to store the data into the memory temporarily. Whereas secondary memory is a permanent memory. Secondary memory is a permanent memory where the data can be stored into the computer system for longer period of time until the user deletes that particular file. Until the user deletes that particular data, the data will be stored into your computer system for longer period of time. So that is what a secondary memory is. Primary memory is a temporary memory. It is a memory which will get vanished once the work gets completed. Whereas secondary memory is the memory where the data will be stored into the memory until the user deletes that particular data. Until the user deletes that particular data. The best example for your for this primary memory and secondary memory is primary memory is the one which supports the user only which supports the user during the program execution. During the program execution, When you start executing the program, the primary memory will support you and it will help you to execute the program. Whereas secondary memory is the one which helps you to store the data permanently into the system. Later, after some days, you can also come back to the system and you can check that particular data in future. If I want the same file to be edited, or if I want to see the same file which I have executed in the previous lab or a previous process, then you can come back to that particular process and you can open that particular file and you can see the data using secondary memory. But in terms of primary memory, the data will not be stored for a longer period of time. The data will get erased once the operation gets completed. Once the system gets off, automatically the data which are stored in the primary memory will be erased. Whereas the data which is stored in the secondary memory will be permanent, and that particular data will be existing into your system until the user deletes that particular file from the system. Okay, so once the data is transferred from input device to the memory unit, the memory unit will store the data and then later it will transfer that particular data to the control unit, which is called as CPU. We call it as Central Processing Unit. We call it as Central Processing Unit. This Central Processing Unit acts as a mother of your computer system. Central Processing Unit acts as a mother of your computer system, or we can also say it as brain of your computer system. Without CPU, it's impossible for us to perform even a minor operation like addition or subtraction or multiplication or division. Without CPU, it's very difficult for us. It's impossible for us to perform any sort of operations. So once the data has been transferred from input to the memory and from memory to the, you can see the red arrow mark here. Transferring of data takes place here. So once the data is transferred from here, memory will transfer the data to the central processing unit, and that particular central processing unit will take the support of control unit and it will transfer the data if that particular data is related to an arithmetical operations, arithmetic and logic operation, then that particular data will be transferred from control unit to arithmetic logic unit. This is the flow of execution which takes place in your computer system. Once you input the data, that data will be stored in the primary memory and it will transfer that particular data back to the central processing unit. And that particular central processing unit, there are two parts. One is control unit and the other one is arithmetic logic unit. Control unit is the one which is going to control your system. It is the one which acts as a manager of your computer system. It acts as a manager of your computer system, which controls each and every operation which has been performed by the user or a programmer. It acts as a manager of your computer system. It controls the data and it will transfer the data to the arithmetic and logic unit in order to perform any sort of mathematical operations. Like mathematical operations can be, arithmetical operations are related to addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulus operation, similarly exponential operation. Whereas logical unit is the one which identifies the logic behind the problem. So control unit will transfer the data to the arithmetic logic unit. Once the data has been obtained, once the process has been completed, once it gets the output, that output will be transferred back to the control unit, and this control unit will send the data to the memory, and that particular memory unit will transfer the data to the output device. Here control, what is control unit? Control unit is a one which acts as a manager of your computer system. It is the one which is going to control your computer system based upon the inputs sent by the user. Whereas arithmetic logic unit is the one which helps you to perform basic arithmetical operations as well as logical operations which are related to various problems which we are going to perform in future. Okay, and once the logical operation is completed, once the output has been obtained here, that output will be transferred back to the control unit, and this control unit will transfer the output back to the memory, and this memory will transfer the output back to the output device. Where this output, what is output device here? Output device is a one which displays the output which has been obtained from the memory based on the input given by the user. Output device is the one which helps us to display the output on the screen in order to see what is the output that we have got based on the input that has been given by me. It is the one which helps you to provide you the output or display the output where the user can see that particular output. Best example for output device is like your printer, monitor, okay, plotters, all this comes under output devices. Whereas input devices are nothing but keyboard, mouse, scanner, all the input devices. Example for primary memory is ROM, whereas example for secondary memory is, example for primary memory is RAM, example for secondary memory is ROM. Whereas the control unit is nothing but it acts as a manager of your computer system, which is going to control each and every process of your computer system based on the input given by the user. Whereas arithmetic logic unit is a one which helps us to perform basic arithmetical and logical operations based on the inputs given by the user. Once the operation has been completed, the data will be transferred to the back to the memory, and that particular memory will transfer the data back to the output device. Where the output device is the one which is going to display the output on the screen. So this is what about the architecture of your computer system. Are you able to any doubts in this particular architecture of computer system? Here I have taken one example for architecture of computer system uh, where it speaks about addition of two numbers. See, it is similar to the architecture. The data has been inputted using an input device which is called as keyboard. Using a keyboard, we are inputting the data saying that 20 plus 20 is an input. 20 plus 20 is the input which I have giving to my system, and using a keyboard, and that particular 20 plus 20 will be transferred to the memory, and this memory will store that particular data temporarily, and it will send the data to the CPU. Once the data has been transferred to the CPU, the data will be stored in the control unit, and it will manage that particular data, and it will transfer that CU. It will transfer that particular data from the control unit to the arithmetic logic unit. Arithmetic logic unit, what it does is it performs addition operation. Why? Because we are using plus here. It performs addition operation, and it will transfer the data back to the control unit. And this control unit will transfer the data back to the memory, and this memory will send the information, the output information back to the output device, where that output device is considered as a monitor in this example, and it provides you the output as 40. 20 plus 20 is 40, right? So the process takes place in this particular manner. Input will be transferred to the memory, and this memory will transfer the input to the CPU, that is a processor, where this particular processor consists of two parts. One part is called as control unit, and the other part is called as arithmetic logic unit. Control unit will store that particular data, and it will transfer that particular data to the ALU. ALU will perform the operation based on the operator that you have specified here. So here I have used plus, so it is performing addition operation, and once the addition operation is completed, it will transfer the data back to the control unit, and this control unit will transfer the output back to the memory, and this memory will transfer the output back to the output device, which is called as monitor, and this monitor will transfer the output, will display the output as 40. So this is how the process of architecture takes place. Read only memory. ROM is nothing but read only memory. RAM is nothing but random access memory. RAM is nothing but random access memory. ROM is nothing but read only memory. RAM is nothing but random access memory. Okay. So everyone understood the concept? Any doubts, dear students? Everyone understood the concept of architecture of computer system or any doubts? Yeah, there might be some chances of getting something wrong based upon the input. If the input is correct, then automatically the output will be correct. Sometimes the computer may perform malfunctioning. Why? Because there may be some problem with the components. If the components are good and if the components are working in a proper manner, then the output will be in a proper manner. The output, whatever that we are going to get, we will get exactly, but it depends upon the user input. If the user input is correct, then automatically the output will be correct. Output will be correct. If you expect addition operation and if you give 20 plus, in order to perform addition operation, I am giving 20 plus 20. But my expectation is addition. If instead of giving addition operation, if I give subtraction operation instead of 20 plus 20, if I give 20 minus 20 and if I expect 40, then the output will be wrong. Why? Because the user expectation is 40, but we are getting 0. Why? Because I am using a wrong operator in as an input for our system. Okay. So the next concept here is ports and types of ports in your computer system. What actually this particular port is? See, computer port is an interface point of connection. Computer port is an interface or point of connection, between the computer and its peripheral devices. Between its computer and its peripheral devices. It acts as a connector. The ports which we are using to our computer system, even your mobile is also having certain ports like charging port. What is the use of that particular port? It is the one which helps you to connect external charger to your mobile. Isn't it? Similarly, when it comes to the ports of your computer system, there are different types of ports which will be involved in your computer system, where each and every port is used for a specific purpose. And this particular computer port acts as an interface. Interface is nothing but an interconnectivity between an external device and your system. It acts as an external connectivity. It provides an external connectivity between the external devices and your computer system. We will be making use of this particular computer. We will be making use of this computer ports, where this particular ports are nothing but it acts as an interface. Once again, I am saying you, keep in mind, it acts as an interface or point of connection between your computer system and the peripheral devices. What these peripheral devices are? Peripheral devices can be an external keyboard or external mouse or your USB pen drives or your mobile charger connectivity. There are different types of ports. Similarly, we can, in order to connect a printer, we require a port. In order to connect the CPU to your desktop, we require a port. In order to connect keyboards, we require a port. So all these particular keyboards, mouse, scanner, printer, external keyboards, external mouse, in order to connect this particular or these components, these components are considered as a peripheral devices. These peripheral devices can be connected to your computer system if that computer system contains ports. If that particular computer system contains different types of ports. So here there are different types of ports which are meant for performing different types of operations. The main function of your computer port is to act as a point of attachment where the cable from the peripheral can be plugged in and allows the data to flow from the peripheral devices to the computer system. Once you in order to connect our peripheral devices, we require a port where this particular port acts as interconnectivity link between your peripheral devices and computer system. Once you connect your peripheral devices with your computer system, automatically the flow of information takes place between the peripheral devices and your computer system. Best example here is your mobile. As soon as you connect your charger to your mobile, what is the process that is going to happen here? As soon as you connect your mobile with a charger and when you switch on your charger, what is going to happen? Automatically, the charging of your mobile starts, isn't it? The charging of your mobile starts, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes or no? So how the charging process takes place? Once the switch of your charger is on, once you connect your charger to your mobile, the flow of data takes place between the mobile and your charger. Similarly, when it comes to your computer system, as soon as you connect the various peripheral devices to your computer system, automatically the flow of data takes place between your computer system and your external peripheral devices which you have connected. So this is what about a general brief information about what actually this particular port is meant for. Okay, so here there are nearly 16 different types of ports. As someone are asking, sir, I don't have, like, I am not seeing HDMI cable. See, there are 16 different types of ports here. 16 different types of ports that we can see in terms of our computer system. But out of those, I have mentioned only 6 different types depending upon your syllabus. There are, like, as you said, the HDMI cable, HDMI slot is there. Like HDMI slot is there, VGA slot is there. There are different types of slots depending upon the type of computer that we are using in our computer system. So out of which I have taken only 6 different ports which are most important for our computer system. One is serial port. So what actually this particular serial port is meant for? Serial port is the one which helps you to transfer the data in the form of serial manner. This particular serial port is used for external modems and older computer mouses. Like here you can see that particular serial port here. These particular ports are those which acts as a serial ports. These particular ports are used for connectivity between the modems. I think you people are familiar with this particular word called as modem. Modem is a one which gives you an interconnectivity link in terms of network, provides you the internet. In order to provide you the internet, modems are those which plays a very important role earlier in previous days, before the existence of Wi-Fi facilities and all those things. We were using modems for interconnectivity between our system and the network. So in order to store that particular data, we use serial ports. And here there are two types of versions. One is 9-pin serial port and the second one is 25-pin serial port. 9-pin serial port and 25-pin serial port, whereas 9-pin serial port was used for keyboard and mouse in the older system and 25-pin serial port was used for other peripheral devices such as modems and all those things. The data transfer, once you connect this modem or keyboard or mouse using the serial port, the flow of data which takes place between the computer system and that particular device is in the form of 115 kilobits per second. 115 kilobits per second. Keep this in mind. These are the three important points that you have to remember. Serial port is nothing but the flow of data takes place serially one after the other. The process of flow of data takes place in a serial manner one after the other. Second point here is This particular port can be used for modems and older computer mouses. Older computer mouse. The flow of data which takes place between this peripheral device and computer system in serial port is around 115 kilobits per second. 115 kilobits per second. And here there are two types of pins. One is 9-pin slot and the other one is 25-pin slot. So this is what about the serial port here is. Whereas second one is parallel port. What actually this particular parallel port is? Parallel port is a one which performs the operation parallelly, one after one, parallelly two bits or two operations or three operations or four operations or five operations at a time. Serial port, until first operation gets completed, it won't be able to transfer the second operation. Whereas parallel port is a one, it is one which is going to perform the operation parallelly at a time with more than one operation, operations. Okay, and this particular parallel ports are those which are used for connecting scanners and printers. Scanners and printers. This particular parallel port is also called as printer port. We call it as printer port. These are the ports which we call it as parallel port, and this particular parallel port are also called as printer ports. Why? Because majorly these particular ports are used for earlier for previous system. These particular previous earlier systems they were using this particular ports. This particular ports was majorly meant for connecting the printers. And this particular parallel port is of 25 bit, 25 pin model. It is of 25 pin model. The best example for parallel port is Centronics port. We call it as Centronics port, which is majorly used for connecting the printers, Whereas the next port here is PS2 port. PS2 port is a one which is used for connecting older computer system and older computer keyboard and mouse. It was also used for older computer keyboard and as well as mouse, where these pins are considered as PS2 ports, where the blue color is used for keyboard and the green color is used for mouse connectivity in earlier systems which was existing in between 1995 to 2005. 1995 to 2005, we were using a mouse where that particular mouses were having the slots of connecting those particular pins to our computer system by taking the support of this type of pins. We were not having any type of USB ports at that time. We were not having USB port mouses at that particular time. Instead, we were using this type of pins in terms of PS2 ports. And this particular PS2 ports are also called as keyboard and mouse ports. Most of the older computer system provide two slots, where that particular two slots contain this type of PS2 ports, where one PS2 port is used for keyboard and the other PS2 port is used for mouse. Okay, and the best example for this PS2 port is also related to mouse, the connectivity between the mouse and the system, connectivity between the keyboard and the system using this PS2 port, where this PS2 port is a one which is majorly used for connecting keyboards and mouse, and the data transfer between this particular between this port takes place at the range of 150 kilobits per second. 150 kilobits per second. Whereas the next one is USB port. What actually this particular USB port is? As we know, USB port is one which is majorly emerging today in our field. What actually this USB port is used for? It can be used for connecting all kinds of devices. Like you can connect your charger, you can connect your mouse, you can connect your keyboards for today's generation. You can connect your keyboards, you can connect your hard disk, external hard disk, you can connect the printers, scanners, mouse, and so on. So this USB port was introduced in 1997. It was introduced in 1997 and it came into existence to our computer system majorly in the year 2005 onwards. 2005 onwards. Most of the computer provides minimum of two USB port where these USB ports can be used for performing different types of operations by connecting different types of peripheral devices. Different types of peripheral devices, and the data travel which takes place using this USB port is around 12 megabits per second. 12 megabits per second is the data which is going to take place between 12 bits per second. Okay, and next one is VGA port. VGA port is the one which connects the monitor to the computer's video card, which is nothing but it is the one which is used for connecting audio and video ports. Like you might have seen in your mobile also you have this particular VGA port, isn't it? VGA port is the one which helps you to provide you the audio and video process activity in terms of this particular VGA port, and it has 15 holes here. It has 15 holes. Like nowadays we are getting only one hole which is used for connecting our speakers or which is used for connecting our, but in terms of your television, when it comes to your desktop oriented product, we are getting some slots in such a way that that particular slot contains something in the form of yellow, red and green, or yellow, white and green, or yellow, white and red. So there are like depends upon the type of product that they are going to develop, they are going to change the color. These particular ports are those which are used for providing you the video connectivity and audio connectivity link between the system. And this particular VGA ports are similar to serial port connector, but in terms of serial port connectors has pins, but VGA port connectors has holes. Serial port connectors has pins, whereas VGA port connectors has holes. Like here you can see this particular holes, right? So similar, like these are nothing but we call it as holes. So whatever the pin that we were using for serial port, it was having pins. It was having pins like this. Like you can see this particular pins here. It is having certain pins like this. But in terms of VGA port, we are having holes like structure where that particular holes can be used for, it acts as a male pin. VGA port acts as a male pin, whereas serial port acts as a female pin. Okay. So the last one is socket. Sockets are nothing but these are used for connecting microphone to our systems. There are different types of sockets which are available to our computer system, wherein we can use those particular sockets for connecting various types of peripheral devices, where that particular sockets which are nowadays we are using that particular sockets for connecting audio systems. Like your external speakers or your microphone devices. In order to connect this type of devices, we are using those particular sockets, and there are different types of sockets that we can come across with. One example that I can tell you is audio socket. Audio socket is used for connecting our microphones or external speakers depending upon the requirement of the users. So this is what about the port and types of ports. Okay, so some students have asked about, can you explain serial port? Okay, serial port is nothing but the process of data transfer which takes place between your computer system and the serial port peripheral device like keyboard or mouse. Takes place in a serial manner. Serial manner is nothing but one after the other. After performing like if the user gives two operations at a time, it will not perform two operations at a time. Instead, it will perform first operation and next it will perform second operation. That is what a serial operation process takes place is. Whereas serial port is a one which is of two types. One is 9-pin bit and the second one is 25-pin bit, where each and every pin is used for performing the serial operation between the computer system and the peripheral device. And this particular serial port is a one which is used for connecting the modems as well as the old mouses. Earlier in the previous days it was used. So this is what about the serial port is. This is what about the serial port is. Okay. So understood? Any doubts? Dear students, any doubts? You can raise your hands or you can send a message. Okay, some student has sent a message saying that what is the full form of VGA? The full form of VGA is Video Graphics Array. The full form of VGA is Video Graphics Array. Video Graphics Array. Okay, any other doubts, dear students? So PS2 port is nothing but PS2. The another name of PS2 port is keyboard port or mouse port. These PS2 ports are those which are used for connecting old keyboards as well as mouse. Like here, whatever the port that you are seeing, like a purple color and green color, these are called as PS2 ports. These particular ports are majorly used for connecting the old keyboards and mouses. And the data transfer which takes place between this particular PS2 port and the peripheral device which you have connected in the form of mouse as well as keyboard is around 150 bits per second. 150 kilobits per second. And here the flow of data between the system and these peripheral devices takes place in a form of serial manner only. In the form of serial manner only. And each and every old computer system earlier, they were having two PS2 ports, where one PS2 port is used for what? Connecting the mouse, and the other PS2 port is used for connecting the keyboard. Now we are not seeing this type of ports in our computer system at all. Why? Because USB port is the major port which we are using in order to connect our keyboards and mouse nowadays. Okay. So any doubts? Is there any other doubt? The another name of PS2 port is P stands for parallel and S stands for serial. Okay. Any other doubts related to architecture of your computer system and types of ports? Yes? No doubts. Shall we move further? Yes or no? Okay. So the next concept here is network and its types. See what actually this particular network is. Network is nothing but it is the one which acts as an interconnectivity link between the user 1 and user 2 or user 3 and so on. So if I want to have a communication link between between me as well as my friend who is staying in some other place, then network is a one which plays a very important role in order to have a connectivity link between me and my friend. So without a network, it's impossible for me, without a computer network, it's impossible for me to have a communication link between me and the other person to whom I wanted to contact with or communicate with. So computer network is a one which plays a very important role in the network area in order to provide a connectivity link between the n number of users in and around the world. Wherein this computer network is a one which is going to provide you the connectivity link between n number of computer system, where those computer system can be used for having a communication link between one person to other person, not only in terms of communication. If I want to communicate, we can use this particular network. If I want to share the data, we can use this particular computer network, and also we can perform different types of operations like developing the application by having a discussion among the team members by sitting in one particular place, and we can perform different operations in this particular process. So the basic definition in this particular computer network is nothing but a group of computers linked to each other. Group of computers linked to each other that enables the computer to communicate with other computers and perform the various operations like communication between one system with the other system. Second operation is sharing the resources from one system to the other system, and sharing the data as well as applications which are need to be transferred from one system to the n number of systems in and around the world. Okay, so here there are three different types of networks. One is local area network, and the second one is wide area network, and the third one is metropolitan area network. Out of these three, this WAN, which is called as wide area network, acts as it is the one which acts as a vast area network. It is the one which helps us to cover the entire world. It helps us to cover the entire world, whereas LAN is the one which acts as a smaller network which we can connect in between our working place only. Local in the sense in between our area itself, I can have a connectivity link between one system with the other system in order to perform a small operations, wherein I can send a message to my friend saying that this is what happening in the office, or this is what happening in terms of my life and so on, and we can transfer the data by sitting in some other place, in the same area. So local area network is nothing but a group of computers connected to each other. You can see this particular images here. A group of computers connected to each other in the small area. In the small area, such as building or offices. Such as building or offices. The group of computers connected to each other in a small area such as building or offices is called as LAN. Is called as LAN. This LAN is used for connecting two or more personal computers. Is used for connecting two or more personal computers through a communication medium such as cable, such as LAN cable. We call it as LAN connectivity cable, where we call it as a wire. We can also say it as wire. A wire is used in order to have a connectivity between one computer with n number of computers within the same area. And this particular LAN connectivity is of less cost, and it provides is of less cost, and it is built with an inexpensive hardware. One single modem with LAN connectivity can provide a network connection to n number of systems using this particular LAN. And the data transfer which takes place in terms of our LAN from one system to the other system is extremely fast in local area network. Why? Because the distance between one system and the other system is very less. Why? Because it was designed for small area. It is designed for small area. As it is small area, the data transfer which takes place from one system to the other system will be faster. And this particular LAN contains the process of providing high security. Why? Because provides more security than wide. Local area network provides low security than wide area network or metropolitan area network. WAN and metropolitan area network may not provide security for our data which is going to transfer from one place to the other place, but local area network provides more security for the data which you are transferring from one person to the other person within the small area network. So this is what about the LAN speaks about. LAN is nothing but local area network. This particular local area network is the one wherein yeah, two or more computers are connected to each other in a small area, in the small area such as small buildings or houses or offices. Okay, so and this particular LAN is the one which provides more security to the data which you are transferring from one system to the other system. And this particular LAN is one which is of less cost and inexpensive, instead of let us say less expensive hardware such as, and it uses less expensive hardware such as hubs, network adapters, and Ethernet cable, which is called as, which I consider it as wire, connecting one system with the other system using the wire is called as Ethernet cable. That particular wire we consider it as Ethernet cable, and this is what about the LAN. Now you can see the difference between LAN and WAN. What is the thing that you are seeing in terms of LAN? Connecting n number of LANs together, n number of LANs, like building 1 LAN, building 2 LAN, building 3 LAN, building 4 LAN. Connecting n number of LANs together is considered as wide area network. Wide area network is a network that extends the process of network over the large geographical area, over the large geographical area. And this particular wide area network is quite bigger than LAN, And this particular wide area network is not limited to the single location. It is not limited to the single location as we have done in terms of LAN. It is limited only for a single location, or it is a small area. Whereas LAN is not located, it is not built for only a small location or a single location. It is a wide area network which is used for huge space. It can be spreaded all over the world. It can be used for spreading the network all over the world. And this particular large area network, that is nothing but wide area network, is the one which is bigger than LAN. It can be used in various businesses. WAN can be used in various businesses, in government offices, as well as education, and so on. Like some best example that I can tell you for wide area network is mobile broadband is a wide area network. Mobile broadband is a wide area network. Private network, which we use in terms of our houses by taking the support of some vendors using Wi-Fi facilities and all those things, are considered as wide area network technology, which has been adopted for those particular modems. The main advantage of wide area network is it covers the entire world, which is nothing but we call it as, it covers the geographical area in terms of networks, and it is a one which provides a centralized data, which stores the data in the centralized manner, in the sense whatever the data that has been transferred from n number of computers here, that particular data will be stored in one single place, which is called as a centralized database management system, where that all the data will be stored in that particular WAN, and it can be accessed by anyone based upon the inputs, or based upon the credentials that has been given by the person, given by a specific person. And even it is one which provides um, the process of data transfer from one person to other person, even though he is in some other places, even though he is in some other country. So this wide area network helps us to do that. But in terms of LAN, I can't transfer the data from India to USA. In terms of LAN, I can't transfer the data from India to USA, but in terms of LAN, I can transfer the data from India to USA easily by taking the support of this centralized management system, which has been, which is the one which acts as a very important role in terms of providing the output. But the major disadvantage of WAN is security issue. The security issue in terms of WAN is the one which is worst process here. Why? Because most of the hacking process takes place in this particular WAN process, like hacking the data of the users who are using that particular WAN network technology is getting is supporting the process of network failure in terms of WAN, network security failure in terms of WAN. Okay, and the setup requires high cost. Setup requires high cost. That is one more disadvantage in terms of WAN compared to LAN. It is the setup requires less cost, whereas in terms of here, the setup requires high cost here. Whereas the next one is metropolitan area network. That is MAN. What this particular metropolitan area network is? Metropolitan area network is the network that covers a large geographical area by interconnecting a different LAN to form a larger network. To form a larger network. See the difference between WAN and MAN. WAN is having direct interconnectivity between one building, one LAN and the other LAN. But in terms of MAN, all the LANs are connected to one single hub, which is called as metropolitan area network. Like this particular LAN is connected to MAN, this LAN is connected to MAN, this LAN is also connected to MAN, and this LAN is also connected to MAN. And this acts as a centralized controller of all the LANs. If I want to transfer, in this particular case, if I want to transfer the data from LAN 1 to LAN 2, LAN 1 to LAN 2, then I can transfer the data directly from LAN 1 to LAN 2. But in this case, if I want to transfer the data from LAN 1 to LAN 2, let us say this one as LAN 1 and this one as LAN 2. If I want to transfer the data from LAN 1 to LAN 2, I can't transfer the data directly to LAN 2. Instead, I can transfer the data from LAN 1 to the metropolitan area network, and this metropolitan area network will transfer the data to LAN 2. This metropolitan area network will transfer the data to LAN 2. Like it acts as a mediator between this particular system and this particular system. And this particular metropolitan area network is used in terms of government agencies as well as private industries. Like in order to provide the connectivity between the government agencies and private agencies, this metropolitan area network has been used. The best example that I can tell you in terms of MAN is your ATM system. ATM system is a one which is connected with the help of MAN, bank and service provider. Service provider is nothing but ATM service provider is having a connectivity with the bank system by taking the support of metropolitan area network. Metropolitan area network. And it is higher than that of local area network but less than that of wide area network. The process of network connectivity between the system is larger than that of LAN but less than that of WAN. And the major usage of this particular MAN is it can be used in between, as I said you, it can be used in order to have a connectivity between branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, branch 4 of the same bank. It can also be used in airline reservations. It can be used in the colleges within the city. It can be used for communication in the military. Communication in the military. And this is what about the network and types of network is. This is what about the network and types of network is. So in today's class, we have discussed about what actually the architecture of computer system is. Second, we have discussed about the example of architecture of computer system. Similarly, we have came across with ports and types of ports. Here there are 16 different types of ports, out of which I have taken only 6 examples for explaining you. Okay, and The last concept which I have covered here is network and types of network. There are three different types of network. One is LAN, second one is WAN, and the other one is MAN. Okay, so and here there are three different figures which I have shown you. One is LAN, which is of small area network. WAN, which is of wide area network, which provides a connectivity link between n number of LANs together and provides a geograph and covers the geographical area. Whereas metropolitan area network is the one which helps you to connect n number of LANs within the branches and helps you to get a good communication link between the branch 1 and branch 2. And this particular metropolitan area network can also be used for banks within the city, colleges within the city, and also a service provider, ATM service provider, and the banks. Okay, so any doubts? The major disadvantage of MAN is it doesn't support for wide area network. It doesn't support for wide area network. Human beings, any disadvantages of human beings? Sorry, I didn't get you, Pavitra. So anybody wants to talk or anybody wants to, is there any man? Okay. Man is not a human being, madam. It is a network. It is a network. Man speaks about metropolitan area network. Metropolitan area network, where that particular metropolitan area network is the one which provides a connectivity between a single branch or n number of branches. And this particular man is nothing but it is larger than that of LAN. It is larger than that of LAN and less than that of WAN. And this particular metropolitan area network covers larger geographical area by interconnecting a different LAN to form larger network. To form larger network. All big companies like Infosys and all which type of like they use LAN as well as WAN. LAN is used in between the company in the company itself. Like you have seen, I think you have seen one particular movie which is not Arya 2. There will be one particular person will be sending a message and everyone will be getting a display of that particular message on the screen. That is nothing but a LAN process, the LAN methodology which has been used by them. Okay. This is one best example that I can tell you that the difference between that. If I want to transfer the data from me towards the other country or towards other places, then WAN is required. If I want to transfer the data from one branch to the other branch, then metropolitan area network is used. Mobile data comes under which network? It comes under wide area network. It comes under wide area network because you are transferring the data. Like even if you transfer the data, like if your friend is staying in Bangalore, if you send a message from Ballari, will it reach or no? Yes or no? It is a wide area network. Okay. So any other doubts? Can you elaborate once again LAN network security? LAN is nothing but local area network. The network security of LAN is more effective than WAN and MAN. Is more effective than MAN and WAN. Understood, Deepika? Okay, fine. So shall we stop or shall we continue? I have one more concept which is called as software and types of software. Okay, fine. It's enough for today. Fine. Okay, fine then. We can meet in the next class. Once I think once I complete with software and types of software, and I will be explaining you in brief about the network hardware, which is not more important, in brief about it, and later I will start up with the C language. Like if I go with in depth about this particular concepts, then we may get shortage of time in terms of our C language.
So once I complete with these concepts, I will be moving ahead with the programming with C, basics of programming with C, and I will be moving further. Share market also uses wide area network only. Okay then. Okay, take care.